Speaking of somebody slow dancing with the first hot person they find, I'm wondering if this is the case. The ACC, Atlantic Coast Conference, big announcement that came down. Notre Dame joins the ACC. Okay? The ACC was basically Anthony Padilla on a Friday night looking for the best match they could get. They went to the athletic bar, had a few drinks, and found the Fighting Irish, the sexiest girl in the bar and the only one that would let them take them home. That's what they found out. And with that in mind, Notre Dame now, everything except football, is going to be a full-fledged member of the ACC, and the ACC suddenly becomes much more stable than they had been for quite some time. However, Notre Dame will not, and this is what's funny, will not join them from a football standpoint. Because Notre Dame still wants to be independent in football. See, because Notre Dame still thinks like Paul Hornung's running for them and they think they're relevant. The truth is they're not. And this comes from a Northeast Catholic guy, and I could be beheaded for saying that. Okay? I grew up in groups where, everybody thought Notre Dame was the greatest thing. Listen, they're not. Okay? And they haven't been relevant in years. But where they are relevant, they are relevant financially. And that is why they remain independent, because TV properties such as NBC, and when NBC's deal up, I'm sure others will get in, are willing to pay because of the Subway alumni that belongs to Notre Dame. Their fan base is stretched far and wide, and in some of the biggest cities in the country have very strong core roots for Notre Dame. So they want to remain independent so that they can cash in on the name, the mystique that is Notre Dame. Okay? And Notre Dame, a storied university, there's no doubt about it. And I'm not telling you their football program's the worst thing in the world, but I'm telling you it's not actually relevant in the landscape of college football today, other than it means money. It means cash. And in this process, the funny thing is they remain independent as they join the ACC. However, they agree to play 5 ACC schools in football every year. 5 different schools. So right now with 15 members in the ACC, basically every 3 years, you'll play Notre Dame, and every 6 years, you'll get them to come to your place. So, in essence, they're playing an ACC schedule without being in, so Notre Dame is having their cake, and they're eating it too. But the ACC likes it. Okay? And also as an independent Notre Dame, one of the biggest benefits by them doing this, football stays independent, but they get this contractual obligation that they will now have with ACC football schools to get these games, 5 per year. And as an independent, the issue is it's becoming increasingly more difficult for independent football programs to get games of relevance because conferences have grown to such large numbers. They do not have as many free dates on their schedule to play teams like Notre Dame. They have 1 or 2 free dates, and they want to go play the Little Sisters of the Poor because they need the gimme if they're like an SEC school or wherever. So they don't have the open dates. So what this does is, I got to tell you, this helps Notre Dame tremendously because it guarantees them 5 decent opponents every year on top of probably their traditional rivalries like with USC and Michigan, and then their service academies. And their schedule is now done, but they remain independent. As I say, they get to have their cake and eat it too. But I'm here to tell you, one of the things I would like to see happen in America, and this is what happened. There were other conferences that wanted Notre Dame, but they all demanded, when it could, the Big Ten, the Pac-12. There were discussions. However, Notre Dame wanted to keep their football program independent, and the other conferences wanted to say, no, we want them in or we don't take you. But what they did is they found the ACC quality conference who said, Notre Dame, you have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. And they gave it to them. Now, basketball gets a lot better in the ACC. Notre Dame's not a national power, but what the ACC also did with this move is they weakened the Big East. They weakened the Big East with the move, and in doing that, it strengthens their brand, the ACC, and it now leaves them with 15 basketball teams. You can bet your bottom dollar that a 16th will be there shortly, and look to the Big East to get rated. Reports UConn would jump at the ACC, but I don't know if UConn is the right match at the moment, but it's possible. Rutgers has been speculated. But the ACC, if they get a 16th, break basketball down to 8 and 8, a North and a South, and it's all done. But the one thing, when I hear the news, and I want to know what you think, because when you first hear this news, there you go, you hear Notre Dame. And the first thing that crosses my mind is they bamboozled them again, Notre Dame. That they make people think they are still the grand old Notre Dame. They're not your grandfather's Notre Dame anymore. They haven't been relevant since Lou Holtz could actually speak straight. Okay? They haven't been relevant. Okay? Since Lou isn't there and they stopped cheating, they can't win. Did I say that out loud? I'm just checking. But Notre Dame hits a home run on this because they remain independent. They get 5 games a year that they don't have to run around and schedule. And the rest of their programs get a legitimate conference to be part of. They got it all. You know what Notre Dame just got away with? Notre Dame got it. Like, Notre Dame, I know it's a Catholic institution. They kind of got away with like a polygamist act. It's like they married the ACC, but, you know, on Saturdays they're allowed to date somebody else. That's what they got away with. Seriously. Like they're swingers in college athletics. That's what they are. Notre Dame is like the swingers of college athletics. We're going to be married in everything except when we play football on Saturday, because we're keeping that to ourselves. You know, we got to have our time off. Anthony Padilla, I mean, is that not what it sounds like to you a little bit? I mean, think about that. We want this. We want it all. Honey, will you marry me? But on Sundays or Saturdays, I just prefer not to be with you, and I may be with another woman on Saturday, but I'll be back on Sunday. I mean, to me, it's BS. To me, it's BS. That's what it is. To me, it's absolute BS. And I can't. And again, I give Notre Dame credit, Anthony. I mean, they bamboozled another one. They do it. People still think they're relevant. I don't know. They haven't been relevant since my grandfather was here, and he hasn't been around a long time. Rest his soul.
As much as I hate agreeing with you, that's just it. It's amazing what television really does for somebody. The fact that they're on NBC every week, you kind of overlook the fact, or you miss the fact that they don't win.
They're not any good.
They change, but they do the smart things. They change their uniforms, to the green jerseys, and they do all these they play a game under the lights. All of a sudden, you start thinking that maybe they got something going, and they don't.
No, they don't. They don't. But again, they actually hit the home run that there are many guys out there would like to have. They married the girl that they want to be with most of the time, and were told you can date one day a week outside of the marriage. That's what they were told. That is what they were told. I don't know how you get away with it. I don't know how you get away with it. If you want to make a commitment to someone or a conference, make the stinking commitment. That's what I say. If you're afraid of commitment, then don't date. It's my opinion. For the Nick Bonsanto Show, I don't know. I got my blood boiling. It's the Sports Byline USA Network.